The ball boys that will be here today at Wembley come from the Leicester and Rutland FA. The referee, Bob Mathewson, who comes from Bolton. Very important man indeed. Clive White from Harrow, one linesman, and Ray Rodell from Bedfordshire, the other. Emlyn Hughes there with the ball tucked under his arm. Both sides have now left the quiet of their dressing room, and soon the noise will really hit them. Tommy Docherty on the right. Here with Preston as a player in '54 and he lost. Here with Chelsea as a manager on '67 and he lost. Here with Southampton last year, with Manchester United last year, and they lost as well. Bob Paisley on the left, the man who scored in the 1950 semi-final for Liverpool, dropped for the final, took over from Bill Shankly in 1974, and he's only Liverpool's 5th manager since the war. Well, you can see them, the crowd as yet can't. But here they come, and now they can. And what proud men leading their teams out. Managers everywhere will tell you that this is the moment you fight, you sweat, you worry, and you work for so many years. And their hearts at this moment must be pumping with pride. Turf for the first time with their boots on. Arthur Albiston just gone through. There's Lou Macari. Manchester United on this side. Joey Jones, Jimmy Greenoff, and his brother Brian just behind him. The last time two brothers played at Wembley was in 1967 when Ron and Alan Harris played for Chelsea, then of course managed by Tommy Docherty. Bob Mathewson in the centre, the 6th member, in fact, of the Bolton Referee Society to get a final, and the 3rd since the war. That's a tremendous achievement for those referees up in Bolton. Well done. We're now joined by all our friends in the other side of the world in New Zealand, as the teams are now on the field for this Jubilee Cup final. Royal Highness the Duke of Kent, Mr. Harold Thompson, the chairman of the Football Association. On the right of the picture, Ted Croker, the secretary of the FA. Now moving to the left for the national anthem. First of all, the Duke of Kent being, or other teams being presented to him. Liverpool first. What do players say at this time, and what normally do members of royalty say to the players at this time? Is this a great moment, Jack?
Yeah, it's a tremendous moment. When I played here one year, the Duke of Edinburgh said to me, "Whiter than white." I don't know what he meant by that. Probably the strip we had on at the time.
He said what?
Whiter than white. I felt like saying, well, I'm no angel. But I think he knew that.
Mind you, Emlyn Hughes showing no signs whatsoever of any strain. I've never known a player with a readier smile that lights up his whole face, more so than Emlyn. Ian Callaghan, what a servant he's been next to his manager there, Bob Paisley. One of life's gentlemen there. I don't think he could say a harsh word about anybody, and I think the biggest job he's had to do probably this whole season was to tell David Fairclough that he wouldn't be in the team for Wembley. Now it's the turn of Manchester United with Martin Buchan. Steve Coppell being presented. David McCreary nearest the camera there, the Manchester United substitute. Well, I wonder what's going through Manchester United's minds at the moment. I wonder if ever a thought of Southampton and last season even occurs to them now, or do they wipe that clean and say to themselves, this is quite another game. Royal Highness the Duchess of Kent here as well. She'll be presenting the cup in a beautiful yellow suit, and that's quite a tassel on the hat, Jack. But I think it's the moments that come up now that the players now look forward to most of all with these ceremonies over. A chance really to stretch their legs, get the ball at their feet, bang it around into the net. Get the feel of what Mike Shannon and Jackie Charlton were saying, in fact, is a very firm Wembley turf indeed. So they go back to the Royal box, and in fact, of course, the game cannot start until the Duke of Kent returns to the box. Tommy Smith. They've been saying for 3 or 4 years it's got to be his last year, but nobody really expected him to come back and play this year. But I doubt if anybody has played more consistently well throughout the season than Tommy. Kevin Keegan already stripped in the white of Liverpool. Remember, they tossed up before the teams met at Anfield a few weeks ago in a league game. The toss-up for the match was also the toss-up for colours, and Lou Macari on that occasion won it for Manchester United. The Liverpool team then, with Ray Clements in goal, Phil Neal, Joey Jones, Tommy Smith, Ray Kennedy, Emlyn Hughes, Kevin Keegan, Jimmy Kay, Steve Highway, David Johnson, Terry McDermott, and the substitute Ian Callaghan, team manager Bob Paisley. And Manchester United, Alex Stepney, Jimmy Nicholl, Arthur Albiston, in for Stuart Houston, of course, Sammy McElroy, Brian Greenoff, Martin Buchan, the captain, Steve Coppell, little Lou Macari, Stuart Pearson, Jimmy Greenoff, Gordon Hill, the substitute David McCreary, who came on for Hill last year, manager, the one and only Tommy Docherty. In the centre, referee Bob Matthewson. I can tell you something about him. He will toss up now with a 1967 penny, which was the year he came onto the Football League list. I'm told he keeps it polished, and occasionally a player will remark on how clean it is, which gives Bob the chance to say, and that's the way I want the game as well. Bob Matthewson, of course, a professional, played in the early 1950s with Bolton Wanderers. Clive White, the linesman, on the left. There's the penny. And it looks as though Martin Buchan has won the toss. Will it mean anything, Jackie? The fact that Martin Buchan has won the toss, is that going to mean anything?
Well, that's 2 in a row they've won. They won the toss for the colours and they've won the toss for the way they kick. Let's see if they can do it 3 in a row. I don't think it'll make a lot of difference today, actually. It's a bit windy outside the stadium, but it doesn't tend to affect too much down on the surface.
Well, Steve Highway scored here in 1971 against Arsenal, scored here in 1974 against Newcastle. If he scores today, he'll be the first player ever to score in 3 cup finals. Alex Stepney, the man who admitted that after last season's defeat on the way back to Manchester, wept openly. And Ray Clements, the assassin they call him, always giving defenders a lot of stick when things go wrong, but I think most people will agree the #1 goalkeeper by a long way in Britain. What about Arthur Albiston? An unexpected chance in a cup final for him, and with a task maybe of looking after Steve Highway if he comes onto his side of the field. A young Scot from Edinburgh with a big job to do. So Brian Greenough looking around, making sure everybody's ready. Bob Mathewson also looking around, making sure everybody's ready. And in a moment, the 1977 Jubilee Cup final will be underway. Well, we saw Brian, and this is his elder brother Jimmy, signed this season from Stoke City for £100,000, and what a buy that has turned out to be, not only for Manchester United, but for Jimmy himself as well. It's going to be Liverpool who kick off. And away we go. Liverpool then attacking the goal to our left. Here's Highway, the first touch for him. Smith. Case couldn't get hold of that one. A free kick though, a foul on Jimmy Case. Great goal-scoring record he's had in the last month. He'll hope to keep that one going. In fact, the ball right at the other end of the field where Ray Clements wants a feel of it. And it'll be Smith with the free kick for Liverpool. Buchan's header. And a throw to Liverpool. Brian Greenough just glancing it into touch. Hughes planting it forward towards Keegan. Beaten in the air though. McDermott. That's not a bad ball either for Phil Neal. Well done, Arthur Albiston in quickly, and that'll make him feel a little bit better. Another throw for Liverpool. Jimmy Case. United fans giving Alderson that little bit of support. Doesn't look as though he needs it at the moment. Keegan couldn't quite get to that one. Turned in once more. And a first touch and a successful one for Stepney. What a good throw. Sending Coppell on his way for Manchester United. Joey Jones backing off him. Ray Kennedy coming in support. Jimmy Nicholl playing it in towards Jimmy Greenough. A backward header towards Pearson. Goal kick. So Ray Clements, been with Liverpool now for 10 years. David Johnson coming for that one, but misjudging it. Brian Greenough got in there, Neal in there for Liverpool. Gordon Hill, nice turn. Case was there. A ball for anybody, and the strength and determination of Buchan won it for him. Coppell again. We've got to watch these Manchester wingers. Oh, and Coppell. Macari. Oh, side netting. Almost something out of nothing there. And Steve Coppell, the man at the heart of it once more. What about this, Jack?
It's a good run by Lou Macari. Read it quickly and well, and he got on and turned in a shot that if it had been across the face of goals might have made it the 1-0.
Here's Highway. And Stepney again. Pearson's header. Greenough. Albiston. Coppell. Well, he looks in the mood. Greenough. Kennedy. No foul there. Good strong challenge there by Kennedy, and a beautiful ball there for Keegan. And some very good defence by Martin Buchan, giving a corner to Liverpool. Already taken, and here's Kennedy. Hitting low this time. Macari there, hooking it away. To Greenoff, watched by Hughes. Gordon Hill. Touching it back for Albiston. Great competitive feel about this game already. McDermott. Smith. And Buchan in there again, showing no signs of that knee injury at the moment. Firm and positive, the Manchester United skipper, in everything he's done so far. Pearson laying it off again. But McElroy couldn't take advantage of it. Tommy Smith, the other number 4, putting it into touch. Pearson, as he likes to do, comes off his defender. Greenoff, McElroy, and a corner this time to Manchester United. Up goes Greenoff. There he is. And David Johnson back with him. McElroy's corner. Smith's header. And Gordon Hill. Manchester United know that they, well, at least they want to make a very good start, and Liverpool know that that's often when they are at their most dangerous. Really, always, whenever you're playing Manchester United, you have to concentrate and play disciplined football for the full 90 minutes. But above all, you have to be wary for those opening 15 minutes. And I think if Liverpool survive those 15 minutes, they will feel an awful lot happier for that. Pass in towards David Johnson. Well, the bench there with the gum-chewing Tommy Docherty and Bob Paisley squirming on his seat. Keegan, not a bad cross there, Highway on the far side of it. And Greenoff beating him. Oh, and he's given it away to Highway. Right foot shot, blocked by Macari. That's a good ball too for Jimmy Case. And a deflection giving a corner for Liverpool. Well, Case was a good shooting position. So a corner then to Liverpool. Swung out there towards David Johnson, and Stepney just there before Highway, and there wasn't much to spare there. There's the corner, and just there in time. Hughes, Jones, back to his keeper Clements. David Johnson. Hill right back there. Albiston. Tommy Smith. Oh, Smith giving it away. Here's McElroy. And Smith was back at him like a demon. And wasn't worried about making the mistake, was prepared to beat Macari before making his pass. There was the old head showing itself there, as Liverpool take it up with Hughes. McDermott. Case. Free kick. So Jimmy Case there. And Bob Matthewson wanting that wall back 10 yards. And Case, what a bang he's got on him, but it's Keegan instead. Oh, and my goodness, Kennedy was nearly there for the touch. Just look how close Kennedy was here after Keegan hit that ball. Didn't quite get the touch he wanted. McElroy. Liverpool's ball. Coming up to 10 minutes gone, no score. Phil Neal, the man who will take any Liverpool penalties should they get them. And it's back with Ray Clements. Jackie, do you spot anything yet that gives you a clue?
Well, Liverpool are certainly playing three forward with Johnson, Keegan and Highway up front, which is the way I would like to have seen him play. Keegan hasn't shown any inclination to drop out in the midfield yet. Manchester United are playing pretty well the way we expect them to, with four at the back, four across the middle, and the two strikers up front in Greenough and Pearson. It's settled down and it's turning out to be a really good cup final, and I hope it continues this way.
Well, here is Keegan, who is playing right up front, as Jackie said, and gets a good cross in towards Highway. And Nicol just getting that away, although Stepney was calling for it. Could be interesting now. Oh, Liverpool had a chance there. Johnson and Kennedy between them. McDermott shot high over the top. But Stepney is going absolutely mad with his defence there, because they left him very exposed there. Jackie.
Yeah, well, the ball finishes here with Johnson, and really can't go anywhere at Stepney. As the ball goes back in, he's left there, and he can't turn around with it. He's got to play it out. Nobody supported him quick enough, otherwise that should have been a goal.
Yes, it was Koppel and Nicol for Manchester United who very nearly gave away the first goal. Instead, it's Koppel now taking up the attack for Manchester United. Stopped again by Kennedy, and a good decision by Bob Matthewson. Koppel went roaring into this Liverpool player. Ray Kennedy, of course, did the double with Arsenal in 1971, looking for a unique double now with Liverpool today. Joey Jones now for Liverpool. Keegan being closely watched there by Brian Greenough. Highway loves to attack his defenders. Well, he's attacked Nicol, and Nicol stuck to him so well. Keegan again being watched by Greenoff. McDermott. Well, Case lost his footing there for a moment. Albiston surely into touch. Neil. You wanted to say something, Jack?
Yeah, obviously Liverpool have put Kennedy to pick Koppel up in the midfield. I don't really think this is going to be the best way of handling it, because Koppel dropping off. Kennedy's not a really good defender.
Throw to Manchester United. Mr. Rodell, the linesman on the far side. Here's Hill. Greenoff. And now Case for Liverpool. Johnson turned well there. Referee showing every inclination to give this game a chance. He's playing well at the moment. He's keeping his nerve. It's so important that a referee keeps his nerve as well. If he gets frightened and starts whistling for everything, the game never has a chance. And Bob Matthewson is really giving this game a chance at the moment. Neil again. Albiston chasing it, being hustled by Keegan, and Liverpool get the throw. Keegan. Case again with a long cross. Highway got midfield men up in support again on the edge of that area. McDermott is right there. This is Joey Jones, though. Oh, that wasn't a very nice challenge by Nicol, and a free kick to Liverpool. Welshman from Wrexham, and here's the Irishman, Jimmy Nicholl, you saw briefly there. Here's Joey Jones again. Highway. Battling and battling, wondering if the ball's going to fall his way. Not much space there now. Macari tackling him fairly, winning it well. Kennedy to Jones. Manchester United have brought everybody forward, and Highway was a good 8 yards offside. Orbiston again. Brian Greenoff. Martin Buchan. Jump by Hughes. Koppel. Hughes supporting his fullback well there. Buchan versus Keegan. Keegan trying to time that run well. Could have had Buchan in trouble there. Claimed that he was impeded unfairly. And Greenoff playing it across the face of his own goal with great confidence there to Orbiston. Smith in first. Good strong challenge that. Here's Jimmy Case. Close dribble. Macari. The match is being watched by 400 million people right across the world, and I would have thought a few interested people in Germany as well. But of course Liverpool play Mönchengladbach in the European Cup final on Wednesday. Hill with the cross. Oh, and Clements tipping that over. Well, that's what they wanted to see more of from Gordon Hill, but I think Clements always had that well under control. So Joey Jones at the post. It's going to be Steve Koppel with the corner. Brian Greenoff up there again. Floating a long way out towards Pearson. Here's Gordon Hill, left foot, well wide. Well, the first 15 minutes have gone, Jack. United haven't got the early breakthrough that a lot of Liverpool supporters might feared and what United would have hoped for.
No, but the game is pretty well balanced evenly at the moment. I think maybe just a slight edge to Liverpool. They've had the best positions. That cross of Gordon Hill, though, was one that they're going to have to watch out for. He swings a tremendous ball in with his left foot, swinging away from the goalkeeper. Nearly caught Clements out in that last one.
Now McDermott for Liverpool. Kennedy's right in there. The fist is not a very good one, but he'll get a second go, and that was a better punch by Stepney. They got Kennedy forward so quickly there. Now Highway taking on his men again. That famous Liverpool deep cross, but too deep that time for Kennedy, and a throw for Manchester United. Now Greenoff. Free kick to Liverpool. The foul on Emlyn Hughes by Stuart Pearson. Jones, Keegan, foul that time by Greenoff, who is marking Keegan very tightly. And here's Highway. Threading it through there for Johnson. Threading it through the legs of Nicholl for Highway again. Well played, Nicholl. Now Pearson v Hughes. Actually, there was a bit of physical there with Emlyn Hughes, the guilty one, and they've brought them forward again so well. That's amazing. Every Manchester United red shirt was forward like sprinters, catching Liverpool offside. Jack?
Yeah, they lived dangerously there, though. If the Liverpool forwards had done the job right and come out quickly with them, they could have been in real trouble, because they had a good break from Case on the far side.
McElroy. McDermott flicking it through for Keegan. Case, so his life depended on it. United player down, and here's Keegan. stopped at the very last, though, and it might come for Johnson. And it was little young Arthur Orbiston who stopped Keegan in full flight there. Highway. McDermott. Johnson on the far side. Keegan in the middle. Kennedy's up as well. Handball, they cried, but accidental. Kennedy. Handball, they cried, and accidental again. Pearson. Jimmy Greenoff. Steve Coppell. Greenoff again. McElroy's right in there. This will be Clements. "20 minutes gone, 0-0. Orbiston, the young Scot who's come in for Stuart Houston, and so far has done everything right. Jimmy Case, Gordon Hill, Terry McDermott for Liverpool. Johnson took that well on his body. Now, can they do something with this? Keegan's right in there. It'll come for Highway. And now here's Nicol. Hill, this is a good break for Manchester United. McElroy's right up there. And Pearson's right in there. And Clements diving to save. Jack, a very good break by Manchester United.
Yeah, took a mistake by Emlyn, but it was a good break.
There's McElroy.
He couldn't get his cross in early because no one went early enough. Pearson was unlucky here that the ball just went away from the goals rather than towards them for him. Otherwise, it again could have been
and
one
from
for
behind, them. The shot that didn't quite come off for Manchester United, turned there, saved by Clements. Smith to McDermott. And now for Jimmy Case. Oh, a back heel that fooled two of them. Neil turning it on for Keegan. Jones. Highway. Very accurate pass. Look how far Kennedy is up again. That's an interesting cross. Keegan on the far side of it, but it just wanted pulling out another yard or two, and that might have been very interesting indeed. But they are pushing Kennedy forward an awful lot, aren't they, Jack?
Kennedy's getting forward and into the box on almost every occasion Liverpool threaten. Whether he may get caught on the break a little bit by leaving Coppell free in midfield, we'll have to wait and see. But that's what frightens me, in the fact that he's getting up there as often as he is.
McDermott. Case. But the makings of a really good cup final. Keegan. Case again. McDermott. And Stepney equal to it once more. "22 minutes gone. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Arthur Orbiston for Manchester United. Case. Oh, stopped by McElroy. Here's Hughes. A little chip out of trouble to Jimmy Case. Kennedy right in there again, but the slip allowing Jimmy Nicol in for Manchester United. Offside. Really thought he was on his way then, did Gordon Hill.
That's the sort of position that Gordon Hill will exploit if he's allowed that much space to have the ball. He was just offside there. If he's ever left with that space on his own, then it's trouble for Liverpool. I think it's a situation they've got to look at very carefully and do something about.
Neil right in there. Scored one or two useful goals in his time. That's not a bad pass there towards Highway. Here's Kennedy again. McDermott. Chipped in again. Johnson offside. Free kick. Played for both Merseyside clubs. He played for Everton before he went to Ipswich, and then back to Liverpool. Hughes making the mistake, and Greenoff not able quite to capitalise on it. Kennedy, Nicol, Hughes, Joey Jones, Kennedy again, Highway, Jones for Keegan, Kennedy, nice little chip, but it took a skillful jump there by Highway to keep it in play, and a clash there between Macari and Jones, and Bob Matthewson calling Joey Jones to him. Arms folded, the referee, and clearly saying that was an over the top. No yellow card, maybe the heat of the moment and the anxiety and the enthusiasm of the moment. And does Bob Matthewson want to have another word with Joey Jones? Macari was the one who felt the pain. Oh, free kick taken by Nicol. Koppel. Hill. Albiston was going outside him. This might leave a gap, though. Albiston has made the break, and look at that gap on that far side with David Johnson in it. Phil Neal has gone up. Keegan is up. Highway is on this side. And in the end, a goal kick. Just. Keegan after this one, and Stepney, no trouble. Now Koppel. A Manchester United throw. Jimmy Greenoff to Steve Koppel. And a corner for Manchester. No, goal kick, says the referee. Well, what about these Manchester United wingers so far, Jackie?
Well, Liverpool have started to tighten up a little bit on them, and but Koppel is going to be the danger I feel today. He's finding good positions deep of his strikers, picking up balls and changing the play a little bit, having a go at the fullback. He was a bit unfortunate not to get a corner there, but he's always prepared to attack people.
Well, that was a high challenge that time by Jimmy Nicol on Steve Highway.
I thought that was a bit unfortunate there, Brian. A ball that high you're committed to go for, and unfortunately Stevie Highway came up second best.
McDermott finding Keegan. Back for Highway. And they get it away. Here's Nicol. Well, a really exciting first 20 minutes or so. The game, it's almost as though it's taking a second breath itself at the moment. Just a little bit of lull. Brian Greenoff. In fact, that looked to be a collision between two Manchester United players, but obviously Jimmy Kaysen had a say in it as well, and that's why Bob Matthewson has given the free kick. Well, a man with the treble on his mind, Bob Paisley, and Tommy Kavanagh doing a lot of shouting there on the left. I think they probably are more exhausted at the end of 90 minutes than any player on the field. Tommy Docherty there too. Nickel. And alcohol. It seemed to come off Jimmy Greenoff, I thought, but it's a throw given to Manchester United. So Tommy Smith there waiting. As Koppel hurls a long one into their 6-yard area. It was Smith's header that got it away, but the whistle had gone. Free kick. Stuart Pearson there. Quite sly word with Emlyn Hughes. And a nod to the referee, which said that I don't really think that was a foul. David Johnson now. 8 goals this season. Brian Greenoff. Keegan's nice glancing backward header, but again Greenoff's there. He's really defended well for Manchester United so far. There's his brother Jimmy, Emlyn Hughes, Dermot, Jones, Hughes again, planting the long ball forward. Johnson is up there, but so too is Brian Greenoff. Keegan slicing it wide and well now to Highway. Now McDermott lining up the shot, the deflection in fact of Kevin Keegan. Goal kick to Manchester United.
It's nice to see Kevin Keegan playing up there like that. He's a good target man and he's very sharp. He comes away from people very quickly and he lays got good balls. Much a better player up front for me than he is in midfield.
And indeed it was the way you wanted Liverpool to play when you were talking in who'll win the cup last night. You wanted to see him play forward, Jack.
Well, we wanted to see a game with both teams committed to the way they play at home, which is all out attack, and I think we're getting that. Both teams are throwing players forward all the time.
Now Joey Jones for Liverpool. There's Keegan right up front again. A header down this time for Kennedy, but Jimmy Nichols there. That's going to be a corner. Highway and Keegan standing over this corner. Keegan playing it wide. Jones in a bit of space here. Driving one in there. Keegan again. It's Sammy McElroy that time. Floated this time to the far side, and Stepney keeping it out under pressure from Stepney. A free kick, in fact, to Manchester United. Under pressure from Kennedy. Greenoff. Inside for Buckham. Oh, what a good ball, but he's offside. McElroy fractionally offside. Now Joey Jones. Nice glancing header there by Kennedy. Johnson's right in there. Goal kick.
It's interesting to see the way Jimmy Nichols played Steve Highway in this game. Steve's tried to take him down the outside on 4 or 5 occasions and failed every time. I'm just wondering now if Stevie Highway might try it on the other wing for a while.
Well, here's Koppel, who's tried it on this wing with some success so far, but he just had that header glanced away by Ray Kennedy. Jimmy Greenoff. Steve Koppel. Greenoff. Now that'll do for Highway. Galloping run. Keegan's touch. McDermott. Keegan again. Macari really herring after him. And the back heel It is only there for the benefit of Jimmy Nicholl. Arthur Orbiston for Manchester United. Pearson, one of those lovely athletic headers of his, very agile indeed. There's another one, but that one goes into touch. Johnson, Neil, so many games for Northampton Town before he joined Liverpool. Here he is again. In fact, the first signing that Bob Paisley made, Phil Neal, going on the outside there, as Keegan now takes it into McDermott. Highway. Turning it inside for Case. Ooh. Little cross there, Brian Greenoff half volleying that one away. Hughes. Well, here's Koppel. Full flight. Had the Manchester United fans roaring for a moment. Jimmy Greenoff with McElroy's gone right forward. Hill in a lot of space on the far side. Highway versus Nicholl. Flick forward for Johnson. Greenoff backing off him. Johnson turning in one way, then the other. And a shot just over by David Johnson. Beautiful skills by this former Everton and Ipswich lad. What about that, Jackie?
I felt when he went here and decided on the shot, he was a little bit wrong. He had two players on the outside in what we call an overlap position. Just on a young lad like Ulverston, I think it would have been better going a little bit right there.
So Ulverston now on the far side. Stuart Pearson with Tommy Smith after him, but he couldn't hurdle that Tommy Smith challenge, and a free kick for Manchester United. You can see what Tommy Smith thought of it, but the referee quite correctly has given a free kick for Manchester United, which Gordon Hill will take. Brian Greenoff up, Jimmy Greenoff in there, and Koppel. McElroy's come forward, Macari's there. 6 red shirts in that Liverpool penalty area, and it's Pearson's header. Oh my goodness, and Koppel got it back again. McElroy's shot, and Liverpool for a moment just a little casual there when that ball went out to Koppel.
Even when the balls are hanging about in the Liverpool area like that, though, Brian, it takes a tremendous one to get through, because they've got so many players in there and they all come and challenge at the ball. Very difficult to get shots in against a team like Liverpool.
Jimmy Greenoff. And Neil recovering well. And a throw to Manchester United. He's given a free kick, and it's some way in from touch as well. Hill with it, and Pearson just failed to get that header in there. That would have been a very interesting one indeed. Kennedy getting it away. Nicholl. Dermott's header away. There was a push on Johnson, but he's still got the header in for Keegan. Highway is up on the far side. Jack Charlton said he thought he might try the far side, and that's what he's done.
Again, Johnson decided to come back into the play towards where the ball had come from. If he had let it go across, Steve Highway, who has changed wings for a while, was in a very good position.
Well, Jack Charlton tipped you off about that when he marked your card that Highway might well try his luck on the far wing, and that's just what he's doing right at this moment on that far side. We've got 6 minutes to go to half-time. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. McDermott. And Kennedy back to Clements. Case battling away. McElroy battling away. And Jimmy Greenoff offside. Scored in the semi-final. What an important first goal that was against Leeds United up at Hillsborough. A little bit of sweat on his face there. It really would be hot out there. And there's his younger brother Brian, who's done a tremendous job at the back for Manchester United. Martin Buchan, his knee seems to be holding up well, Jackie.
Yeah, he's doing well. Just looking at him, he's picking up, he's telling people where to go, and he's doing the job a good captain will do.
Well, here's the other captain, Emlyn Hughes, with the header for Liverpool. Kennedy, hustled by Nicol. Both claiming it was their ball. So Manchester United ball with 5 minutes to go to half-time. Here's Pearson. Got his ball in well. But in fact, it's a free kick. A foul by Emlyn Hughes. Now, will this be a useful situation? They wanted to take it quickly. Bob Mathewson was having none of that. Liverpool have brought 9 people back. So plenty of white shirts just out that side, that Liverpool 6-yard area. Koppel dipping that little free kick in there. Keegan taking it from Joey Jones. Kennedy in full stride. Highway outside him, he's come to this side again. Nicked away again by Buchan. Macari, Jimmy Greenoff, Macari, Highway coming back again, brought down, free kick to Liverpool. Bob Mathewson, whichever way he gives any decision, he's going to get a howl of protest from one end of the field. But he's refereed well. Jack?
I feel Stevie Highway is probably over-elaborating a little bit on some of the balls he's getting. On several occasions, he's had opportunities to play the ball in and decided to go on a little bit further and finish up losing them.
Well, let's see what Steve Highway does with this. Nothing over-elaborate about that. A cross that gets in. And Macari getting it away to Gordon Hill. Well, that came off Neil. Here's Neil again, and now McDermott. To Jimmy Case. Not a bad cross there. Kennedy's there! Well, how did they stop that from going in?
It's a typical Alex Stepney save. Going the wrong way from the header.
What a cross, though.
Yeah, it's good header by Kennedy.
And he kicked it out with his right boot.
Almost seems, I think it maybe hit the bottom of the post. But Alec had a foot there, even though he's going the wrong way. Typical save from him.
But it's a corner for Liverpool, so he must have hit his right foot, Jack.
Yes, it must have done.
Keegan hoisting it high. Kennedy on the far side with the header. Tommy Smith. Joey Jones. Oh, just over. Oh, that was some brilliant stuff by Liverpool. And they so nearly... What about this fellow's save, though? Alex Stepney.
It's a good shot by Joey Jones. It was always going up, though, and it was always going over.
But this fellow's save was remarkable. And, as you say, a typical Alex Stepney save there from Ray Kennedy. Kennedy's header. Koppel. Straight to Hughes. 2 minutes to go to half-time. Highway. McDermott. There's the little cross again. And a good catch by Stepney. Throw for Manchester United. Martin Buchan. It's such a very even and exciting game. But having said that, it's Liverpool, in fact, who've been the closest to score. And here they come again with pace, finding Kennedy. Emlyn Hughes leaving it for Terry McDermott. Flicked in again for Kevin Keegan. Just look how close Brian Greenough is. And Keegan denied that yard and that half second that he required. And Koppel, a long ball away, offside against Stuart Pearson. No doubt about it. He can complain as much as he likes, look as fierce as he likes, but the referee and the linesman on the far side, Mr. Ray Rodell from Bedfordshire, 100% right.
I'm not sure he was right there. The ball travelled a fair way in the air, and his run was made from inside his own half. It must have been very marginal.
Kennedy's header. I'll fight you for it, Jack. Injury time at the end of the first half. Here come Manchester United again. The long ball by Macari. Hill not offside, but Clement's there before him. Greenough. Ulverston on the far side. It's not a bad little cross in there, but Tommy Smith, who's looked as solid as he always does. And Neil quickly in there before Thornton Hill. Jack is absolutely right. It's of the two Manchester United wingers, it's Steve Coppell who's looked the more impressive so far.
Even they haven't been in the game as much as we thought we would hope them to be in, actually.
Oh, a backward header by Greenough. Well, he's playing a fair bit of injury time. There hasn't been a lot of it. Jimmy Greenough, Tommy Smith. Jimmy Greenough again, playing it firmly forward. But just as firm was the challenge by Emlyn Hughes on Stuart Pearson. The long ball, this time from Jimmy Case for Keegan. Now, they're going to get a breakthrough right on half-time. No, Brian Greenough getting it away, but only as far as Steve Highway. Corner. And I wonder if there'll be time to take it. Look at the watch. Will take the corner for Liverpool. As the whistle goes for half-time, as Kennedy heads it downward. No goals in the first half. A finely contested cup final, with Emlyn Hughes, the captain of Liverpool, and Martin Buchan, the captain of Manchester United. I would have thought well satisfied with the form of both their sides, and indeed with the two managers who are walking off the field as well, Tommy Docherty and Bob Paisley, with a lot of talking to do at half-time, and let's hope they can keep up this sort of form in the second half. A half-time score in the Wembley Cup final. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0.
Well, I don't think the basic pattern of the game, as I said, will alter very much. Manchester United are playing with the wind this half, and that might help them to get forward a little bit quicker. But I think it'll suit Liverpool a little bit more and maybe hold the ball up a little bit and allow their good runners on the ball to run a little bit more with the ball under control than they have done in the first half. I don't think the wind makes that much difference, but it may just help. I think Manchester have got to, in some way, get their wingers free a little bit more. They're not used and they don't like having to feed balls through to their two centre players, that's Greenough and Pearson, have them do it alone. They like support to be put there very quickly and then go from there. Macari's not got into the box on many occasions, only the once very early on for his shot at goal. But it's a must for Manchester United to get him into the box. And in order to do that, they've got to be able to get the ball wide and get it bashed in the way they do so well. When I mean bash, that's just make an angle and play the ball in as hard as you can and hope somebody from the midfield can get on the end of it. But if Liverpool keep playing the way they are, there's no way I can see Manchester winning this game. It's just a matter of time before Liverpool get a goal.
Well, he's never been one for sitting on a fence, and there was a very positive prediction there from Jack Charlton. Let's see what Manchester United have to say about that. It'll be they who kick off the start of this second half with 0-0 at half-time. Manchester United now attacking the goal to our left. Nicol to Brian Greenoff. What a very good first half he had, along with Martin Buchan, who's on the ball at the moment, and Orbiston, who has shown no signs whatsoever of Wembley nerves. A great leap there by Pearson, but not great enough. And Hughes getting it away for Liverpool towards Kevin Keegan. Look how tight Buchan was on him, but Keegan still kept possession and found highway. Back for Kennedy. McDermott, who indeed has got through an enormous amount of work in the middle of the field for Liverpool. He's a Liverpool lad, although he first won fame and fortune up at Newcastle, of course, and a free kick. So it's either 4 or 5 in the wall. It's a long way out. Four in the wall, says Alex Stepner. Well, he's got just 4 in the wall. Macari, Koppel, Jimmy Greenoff and Orbiston. And the other side of that wall, you've got Jimmy Case and Kevin Keegan. In the first half, Case ran over it and Keegan whacked it. As you can see, they're about 25 yards out, but Jimmy Case hitting it low and well wide. Another Liverpool lad, Kevin Keegan, a Yorkshire lad. Here's Buchan to Orbiston. Case cutting it out. McElroy planting it forward again. Joey Jones hurtling after it, and time to survey everything, to in fact decide in the end to do the easy thing and let Emlyn Hughes have it. That wasn't a very good clearance by Hughes. Only found McElroy, and here's Koppel now for Nicol, steaming up on that right wing. Cross in there for Tommy Smith. And an offside decision, in fact, given against Manchester United. A free kick once more to Liverpool.
Manchester's 3 of their best breaks actually have been from very casual and sloppy balls from Emlyn Hughes, which is most unlike him. He's usually very positive in his approach, but that ball he laid off there was a totally unjustified one.
Orbiston, and Orbiston again took that well, beating Neil for pace. He's beaten Tommy Smith for pace, and it went over the top. What about this fellow, though? He really shows no sign of nerves whatsoever here at Wembley, Arthur Orbiston, Jack.
He's done well in what he's had to do. He's tended to kick a lot more long balls from the back than, in fact, I think he should have done. Hill wants a service from him, and he's had very little service from Orbiston in this game, in fact.
So he's done better as a defender than as a provider.
That's certainly the only good break coming forward he's made.
Jones on the far side for Liverpool, and a throw to Manchester United. There's so little to choose between the sides. One hesitates already to talk about extra time, but of course if it does happen that they're level after 90 minutes, we then get 15 minutes each way of extra time. And if it's level after that, as Malcolm MacDonald earlier thought that it might even be, we have a replay on June the 27th. When all self-respecting people are thinking more of test matches than cup finals. Here's Macari. Koppel couldn't quite do anything with that, and that time Hughes safely finding Ray Clements. Kennedy, all held up just a little bit on the air at the moment. There's a fairly strong breeze above the stadium. I don't know whether they're finding it down there, but it's mostly at the moment behind Manchester United. Case for Liverpool. Highway. Is he going to make this decisive break? Nicol backing off him. Turns inside. Look how Neil had come up on this side, but it was nodded away by Albiston. Here's Neil again, but again, Arthur Albiston's there. A throw for Liverpool. McDermott. Here's Keegan, hustling away from his defender, finding McDermott. A nice little pass here for Case. McDermott's cross going in, and Brian Greenoff's header getting it away. There's Phil Neal just lifting it in there, and a linesman's flag up for offside.
I thought that was a terrible decision by the linesman there, offside. I didn't see anyone when the ball was played, which is when offside should be given. In fact, I didn't see anyone at all offside there.
Hughes with the header. Keegan with the header off McElroy. Oh, and Pearson put through by Greenoff. Jones is after him. Pearson shot, goal! Out of nothing. McElroy's header.
Just a ball that was allowed to bounce and wasn't dealt with positively.
Greenoff's header. And a whiplash shot by Stuart Pearson.
I don't think Ray Clemens would be too pleased at this one, because it sneaked in between him and the near post. In fact, the one very reminiscent of a goal Liverpool scored against Newcastle, against Arsenal, I think.
Liverpool 0, Manchester United 1, Stuart Pearson. And now Liverpool with Highway. The banners are out, and you might think it's the Stretford end. Keegan, the backward header, Buchan right in there. That's not away yet, but it'll be safe now for United as Stepney catches it. And Pearson getting some spray on that shoulder. I don't know whether that was the mobbing of his teammate or maybe he fell when he shot, but he wants to come back on. My heavens, he wants to come back on. Now it's McDermott, and instead of the treble, can it possibly be trouble? Highway. McDermott back for Joey Jones. Too high for Keegan, but Case is there. The shot by Case, a goal! 1-1. What an answer! Stepney prostrate. Liverpool celebrate. And Jimmy Case, who's had a fantastic scoring record over the last month, gives the best possible reply. What a turn by him, Jack.
Beautiful turn, and what a volley. Just coming off the ground, caught it beautifully.
And from behind, a sight that Liverpool fans would love to see again, I'm sure. The turn by Jimmy Case, the rocket shot past Alex Stepney. So Liverpool 1, Manchester United 1, and Jimmy Case is the scorer for Liverpool. Neil keeping it in. Tommy Smith. Well, it had every sign of being a tremendous cup tie, and I think those two goals early in the second half, in the first 7 minutes of the second half, have given it every chance of becoming one. Greenoff. Buchan. Clip forward again there. Tommy Smith getting it away. David Johnson the touch. Keegan going for it, but Albiston just beating him to it. United playing it now carefully in this midfield position. And the ball still kept in play there by Sammy McElroy. Here's Brian Greenoff. Really attacking each other now, and really giving us a spectacle to remember. Highway now for Johnson. Couldn't quite control it, and he was just onside. That might have been interesting if Johnston could have if Johnson could have controlled that, because Kennedy was in a lovely position outside him. McElroy to Nicol. And now to Koppel. Hughes with the leap, but he's beaten in the air. Greenoff trying to get in behind Tommy Smith, and might succeed in doing so. And the ball's in the net. And it's got to be down to Jimmy Greenoff, although Macari and Hill are there to claim it too. Well, that's an incredible turnabout, and it'll take the slow motion to sort that one out, Jack. Greenoff right in there, fighting and tussling, and in the end winning. And there's the shot. And it's 2-1 to Manchester United.
I think that took a little bit of deflection, Brian. The shot from Macari, yes, it did.
Did indeed.
Hit Greenoff,
but I think Macari will claim it. Liverpool 1, Manchester United 2. And 3 goals in 5 minutes. Now Smith. Neil for Liverpool. Bit of shirt tugging there. Oh, and now here's Gordon Hill in a bit of space. Hughes coming across to cover. In for Jimmy Greenoff, and Joey Jones is right in there, and Liverpool was stretched almost to the limit.
Great ball in by Gordon Hill. The one that Jimmy Greenoff might have got, but Joey Jones had to deal with, and he dealt with it perfectly. Only place he could play it.
So a corner for Manchester United. So Hill with the corner. Hit in lower and Kennedy away. Here's the high ball clear. Keegan. And now Highway, trying to get it to the byline, and Nicol refusing to allow him to get there. Chipping it wide for Kennedy. Liverpool, a side that never knows when it's beaten, and a side that does so much of its good work in the last quarter of a game, have got to go through that routine once more. Because here's Gordon Hill for Manchester United. Offside against Jimmy Greenoff. I wonder whether he'll want to claim that third goal. Certainly, my first reaction was to call it for Jimmy Greenoff. When Macari hit it, as Jackie Charlton said, there was a wild deflection off Greenoff. Koppel. Stopped by Highway. A lovely jump and a header. Tommy Smith getting it away, but not very far. He got it further that time, but there was a free kick, and it's given to Liverpool. Stuart Pearson down. David McCreary doing his warming-up exercises. Jack, looking at the game now, everybody says when you're down as Liverpool are, you've just got to go on playing the way you know. But is there anything that they can do that is slightly different, or you anticipate they might do?
No, I think they've got to keep playing the way they've been playing. They're unfortunate to be behind to a team that really have only made the 2 chances in the game, and they've been very difficult chances at that. But the goals have gone in, and that's what football's about. I think they've just got to keep plugging away and hope that they get the break that I think they deserve.
What is significant is that Ian Callaghan is warming up the Liverpool substitute on the far side. Joey Jones bringing it forward. There's Keegan, the touch for Kennedy, blasting it just over. As you say, they've got to go on playing their normal game, Jack, and there was a lovely little touch for Kennedy, and over the top it went.
He's got such a lovely left foot, Ray Kennedy, on balls like that, and he struck them in the back of the net many times. Yes, I think they might bring Ian on, but I don't know who they're going to bring off, because I can't really see, apart from Liverpool's back four have had a few problems, the rest of them have played well. Certainly Terry McDermott, who they might bring off, has been one of the outstanding players for Liverpool. He's kept everything moving.
Let me ask you the crunch question. Do you think Bob Paisley would like to be able to bring on David Fairclough now?
I think at this stage of the game he's probably regretting that he has got Ian Callaghan as a substitute and rather than the other boy.
Fairclough. Now here Liverpool coming away again. Phil Neal. David Johnson storming up ahead. Kevin Keegan. Now for Johnson. Case. A little chip in there towards Ray Kennedy. And Jimmy Nicholl says thank you very much. Nicholl. One for Coppell to stretch after, but Hughes is there before him, and it's a goal. In fact, there's a lot of geeing up going on the bench at the moment. Tommy Kavanagh a moment ago was geeing a bit, mopping his brow there. He's going through it like everybody else. Hill to McElroy. Oh, that was hit straight at Hill by McDermott, but Liverpool get themselves out of trouble, and here's Case. Keegan. Johnson on the far touchline, on this near touchline rather, but it's Keegan now for Liverpool. McDermott, a deep cross again towards Joey Jones, right in there, got his header in well, and they waited, and Case very nearly got in. Just a little bit of
he's a bit
casual play there.
He was a bit unfortunate there. He just needed a touch on that one, it would have been a goal.
In fact, that the scoreboard does give that second Manchester United goal to Jimmy Greenoff. Bakari. Buchan. McElroy. What a nice run. What a good run, and Hill on the end of it as well, and Hughes blocking it, but a throw for Manchester United. Well, the captain's got to do a captain's job, and nobody is better capable of doing it than Emlyn Hughes. And they're going to bring on Callaghan, but here's McElroy. That's not a bad cross, and it came off Emlyn Hughes for a corner for Manchester United. And it's David Johnson who's going off. There's the scoreboard. David Johnson going off, and Ian Callaghan is coming on. Ronnie Moran there with him. A little man here with 16 seasons at Liverpool and never a moment's trouble. Over 800 games. One of the great professionals. Corner there for Manchester United, and the header by Brian Greenoff straight to Ray Clements. Whistle had gone. Jack.
David Johnson was the logical one to bring off. He probably pushed Stevie Highway up the front now and play Ian in the midfield, which looks like they've done that now anyway. But this is where Fairclough would have been ideally situated.
Well, there's
to come
Fairclough
on as a sub.
with the red hair just behind his manager Bob Paisley. Indeed, Highway is right up in a forward position. Nicol cutting that out for Manchester United, who've had a very good second half indeed. Here's Koppel. Jimmy Nicol outside him. Macari here. Jimmy Greenoff, Stuart Pearson. Oh, and a save by Clements. And it's not often you see Liverpool prized as wide open as that. Here we go, Jack.
He was offside here, Jimmy. He was given offside by the linesman on the far side, but Pearson did well. Good save by Clement. But Manchester wouldn't be a bit surprised to see them get another goal, because they're playing at the moment with a lot more confidence than they've done at any period in the game. Liverpool seem to have just dropped off a little bit. Things aren't happening for them at all.
Joey Jones. And here's Clements. Well, the skipper who's done a tremendous job, and the striker Kevin Keegan, who's got to do a job. There was a bit of wild kicking there by Joey Jones on the back of Jimmy Greenoff. Tommy Kavanagh, never one to hide his feelings. Two one, they're chanting, and here's Jimmy Nicol now for Manchester United. That's a bad cross.
It shows a change in the confidence of Manchester United. I think that's the second time in the game we've seen Jimmy Nicol actually come that far up the field. They've got their tails up now, and I can't really see them letting go. But with Liverpool, you never know, because they'll battle right to the last minute.
Keegan. And a shove in the back. That's the one decision that maybe if he could have held back for a moment, that would have been a useful advantage for Liverpool to have had. Instead, it's a free kick for Liverpool, but also with a chance, which they've done, for Manchester United to bring almost everybody now back behind the ball. Hughes with the kick. Keegan right up there. And that is hooked away there. No, that's a corner. Well, Jimmy Nicol could have saved that one from going for a corner, and if anything comes out of this for Liverpool, he'll be cursing himself. Tommy Smith coming up, number 4. Ian Callaghan, the number 12 there. Kennedy, naturally enough, is right in there. Highway with this corner then for Liverpool. Played a little wider there towards Tommy Smith, but Greenoff determined that it should be his head that got there first. Here's McDermott. They've brought everybody forward, and they've caught at least 4 offside.
There again, it's a little bit of lack of encouragement from the forwards to come out quickly. The ball for Stevie Highway was the logical one, but the other ones didn't read it quick enough to get out and to make that upset. Manchester paid for that offside there, and they could have done so easily.
Smith. Kennedy right back there. What a game he's had. And I can imagine for the uncommitted of you sitting at home, it must be hard for you to wonder which way you want this game to go, because I suppose a lot of you would like to see Liverpool break all the barriers and do the treble. Equally, you would say to yourself, to come to Wembley 2 successive years and be beaten twice shouldn't happen to anybody. So it must be hard for you to know which way to vote, but it's certainly a marvellous cup final that we've got here with Manchester United at this moment, with about 24 minutes of the second half gone. Manchester United leading 2-1. And Tommy Docherty, 3 times at Wembley and 3 times beaten, has just that glimmer of success now. It's a poor ball by Joey Jones, but it's no harm done. Paisley, I should think, worrying and wondering. In fact, I think probably agreeing that his side have not shown their best form over the last 3 or 4 games. Kennedy. Touch there for Case. Kennedy again will sweep it wide now for Callaghan. Almost the first touch that Callaghan's had. A dipping corner, a rather dipping cross, and Jimmy Nicholl not under a lot of pressure, but knowing that it was going to be safe there. At least for the time being, highway to take this corner then for Liverpool. 20 minutes to go. Well, it was Brian Greenoff's header again. And I think he's missed absolutely nothing this afternoon. They've brought them all out again. And they've caught him offside again. Even though it was Phil Neal, hopeful of making a well-timed run from the back.
They came out a bit better there, and Phil Neal's run was good. But the ball was delivered a little bit slowly by Joey Jones. If it had gone in just a little bit quicker, I think you might have found he was onside.
Would you fancy playing this dangerous game when you're leading 2-1 in a Wembley Cup final?
No,
Jack,
I
with
don't
20 minutes to go?
I don't think I would, no.
Hughes not quite getting the header in there. Phil Neal. It's the header by Kennedy. Phil Neal again. Keegan. And an offside. I think probably against Jimmy Greenoff in the middle. Liverpool wanting to get on the move quickly, but it's so important that they don't try and hurry everything. They've still got to keep swinging along in their usual groove. And here they are now. Neal finding Callaghan. That's a good cross again by Callaghan. Keegan on the end of it, and that very nearly fell for Highway. Instead, Macari hooks it away for Manchester United. Callaghan again. Now, can he settle them down? Can he find the opening that Liverpool wants so badly? Turning, looking. Hughes here, another great old ally of so many games. McDermott playing it wide again for Highway. Obstruction.
Can we get some units around 4-3 over?
Free kick then to Liverpool. Kennedy on the far side, Keegan's in there, Case is in there, Tommy Smith is up towards the near post. It's going to be Callaghan dipping another of those crosses in towards Kennedy. Here's McDermott, and he hit it straight at Brian Greenoff. And an offside again. They brought them all forward again.
Well, they've got away with it 3 times. Maybe the 4th on the won't. It's the one you've got to play with great discipline. If anyone decides not to come, then the whole thing is gone.
Do they go on a signal or what, Jack?
Possibly Martin Buckner's the one that will do it. He's the one that says everybody out, and if they all hear him and all react at the same time, it works. If one of them doesn't hear him, it doesn't work, you're in trouble.
Well, here's McElroy, but Phil Neal getting in there first. Now Case, beaten by Buchan. McDermott. Callaghan. Keegan, oh, it came off Macari. The man who's just been brought into the Scottish squad for the home internationals, Lou Macari. Here's Keegan, back for Callaghan. No, he won't get that one. Try as he might, goal kick.
It's a surprising thing about the 2 goals that Manchester got, you know, Brian, that they've both gone through the middle of the field, and balls have not been served in from the wings at all, as we said before. A little bit of shakiness in the middle of the Liverpool defence has caused them.
Well, here's Jimmy Case, ball at his feet, Ormiston after him. Well, he played the ball and played it well, but here's McDermott. But McElroy's after it, Neal's in first, and here's Kennedy. There's 150% commitment out there now as McDermott sweeps it wide for Callaghan. Played in again for McDermott, hitting it first time. This might be dangerous, and Stepney hasn't punched it well, but there's a foul on the Manchester United goalkeeper. And it's a free kick for United. We have now 15 minutes to go. And Liverpool 1, Manchester United 2. Case for Liverpool, Pearson, and according to the scoreboard and my first inclination to Jimmy Greenoff for Manchester United. Now here's McDermott. Highway, forced deep there by Nicol, and finding Callaghan. Well, Callaghan won't get to that. McElroy will. And a foul given against Ian Callaghan. And United are fighting and running. Stuart Houston on our programme last night was saying that the attitude of the Manchester United camp was that they would go out and die for United today. And they're giving that impression here at Wembley this afternoon. Stuart Houston behind the grey-haired Tommy Kavanagh there with the sunglasses. They've got the whiff of victory, I think, in their nostrils of Manchester United, as they feel that Liverpool are not quite producing what they can. And you certainly get the impression that every time Liverpool get anywhere near their penalty area, they are hurling their bodies at the ball and at the opponent as hard as they possibly can. Here they go again, Buchan there, Brian Greenoff there. Oh my goodness, that could have been an own goal. And that would have been a time for eating words. What about that, Jack?
Well, he was very lucky, Brian, to get away with this one. He didn't know where Stepney was. If he had come another yard, he was beaten with it. But it would have been a shame, because Brian Greenoff, for me, is the man of the match.
Offside against Pearson.
He's done everything right.
Well, there he is, Jack. He's won everything in the air. He's set a tremendous example in everything he's done, hasn't he?
He's had a wonderful game, Brian.
Albiston. Pearson, I think, must have assumed he was going to be given offside there. He didn't really go after that ball. Callaghan. Highway. McDermott trying to get a 1-2 there with Keegan. Here's Case. Can he add another one? Oh, and it called for a good save. Again, Case showing a lot of good form on the ground, Jack.
Yeah, he's pushed up front, Jimmy Case, now, and let Stevie Highway operate what he wants to do again, fairly deep. I think that's wise. He's a good eye for a shot, Jimmy Case, and he strikes a beautiful ball. And he's a bit unfortunate there.
But with 12 minutes to go, I think your money has got at this moment to be on Manchester United, the way they are playing, and the way Liverpool, if anything, in spite of that little bit of Jimmy Case skill there, looking just that little bit jaded at the moment. Here's Gordon Hill. Well, he's gone past Phil Neal. Can Pearson turn? Lay it off there for McElroy. There's the shot. And the Liverpool bodies were stretched out across that penalty area, and there simply was no way through. Can Hill find a way through now? Pearson again waiting in the middle. Joey Jones is there for Liverpool. And here's Tommy Smith. 11 minutes to go. Case now right up front, as Jack was saying. This time playing it wide for Ray Kennedy, a midfield man up front. Case on again, and again Manchester United get it away. Really get that impression that Manchester United are fighting with their lives at the moment to hold on to this, Jack.
Yes, well, they've got to do, because Liverpool play a lot of good football, a lot of control stuff, and they'll throw a lot into the box, and they'll compete for everything. And Manchester United have got to do exactly the same.
Greenoff again, out of the match, cutting it out. And a little chip forward, very accurately played there for Stuart Pearson. Here's Stevie Coppell, Jimmy Greenoff. whistle have gone. Foul by the Manchester United defender and a free kick to Liverpool. Well, they're going to bring on David McCreary. Manchester United bringing out their substitute, David McCreary. Came on as a sub last year for Gordon Hill. Orbiston, McElroy. Busy little player, McCreary. I just wonder who they might take off. Orbiston. Well, here's Hill. Inside again. And Hughes getting it away. You were just going to say you think what, Jack?
I think they'll bring Hill off again. Almost certainly, and put him in midfield and show the midfield up a little bit tighter over the last 10 minutes if they can.
Well, here's Highway for Liverpool. And again, Arthur Orbiston equal to everything Manchester United have asked of him. And it's Gordon Hill who's going to come off. Case, can he turn on this one? He hits it, but and Stepney very nearly made a mess of it, and Keegan was very nearly in there. Well, they nearly made a mess of this, Jack.
Jimmy Case again turned very well here. Got his shot in. Alec Nally made the Rookie of the Year, but he got a hold of it again. He was a bit fortunate. Keegan was right on top of him.
McDermott, they still can't get McCreary on. Now with the ball out of play, they will. So Gordon Hill going off, he looks very disappointed. That is the second successive year that Gordon Hill has been called off. McCreary having his studs inspected, a handshake there for McCreary, and there's a very disappointed young man indeed. Now, Tommy Docherty, a pat, explaining why he's made that change. Liverpool getting on with the action. Case right up there again, and Buchan left-footed and sure into touch. It's amazing how close both benches are to each other. Case. Highway. A deep cross again towards Kennedy. Up he goes. Keegan right in there. Played back again for McDermott. And do you know, the ball hasn't even gone over the byline. It's a throw to Manchester United. 7 minutes to go. Alex Stepney, is it all going to change for him? And will he now get a Cup Winners' Medal? To go with the European Cup Winners' Medal that he won here in 1968 against Benfica. Little McCreary. Both the substitutes on now, no more allowed, of course, and again Manchester United come forward quickly, and in fact McDermott was trying to dribble his way into the clear beyond that advancing wall of red, brought down on a free kick. It's one of the ways to beat that onrushing trap, is if you can dribble round it, you're free. Callaghan then with a long cross. Hughes right up there. Keegan couldn't quite get high enough. McDermott there. Keegan again, nodding it on. A touch by Case for Highway. Manchester United with everybody back and with 6 minutes to go. Callaghan. The little chip in towards the near post. The back header. Keegan trying to get in there. And now a chance for Manchester United to break with Koppel, with an acre of space ahead of him, with Pearson and Jimmy Greenough up also. Brian Greenough. Although I think Man United supporters would rather see Brian Greenough sealing up the back. I don't think he's sat on that bench for more than 30 seconds at the time. Minutes. And Liverpool 1 goal down. Neal, McDermott, Keegan. They're often at their most dangerous in the dying minutes of a game. McDermott again for Liverpool. Callaghan. And in it goes again once more from Phil Neal. Hughes is there. He tried to turn it in, but neither Kennedy nor Highway could get there. Pearson after it, and Phil Neal holding him off. I'm not at all sure he held him off fairly. And here we go now with Callaghan. Keegan trying to come off Alberston. A neat little turn, and the touch that didn't really look likely to meet Hughes, and played back by Brian Greenoff to Alex Stepney. So badly wanted to leave Liverpool this season with a treble, but folks like Brian Greenoff have done a lot to, at the moment, to deny him that honour. On my watch, 4 minutes. Here's Joey Jones. The victory chants are already beginning to be heard from the Manchester United end, as Keegan sets up another Liverpool attack. Here's Neal, here's Callaghan, McDermott. That's an interesting cross. Keegan on the far side. Keegan up there with the header, and Stepney under pressure, and the whistle had gone. A free kick to Manchester United. 3 minutes, Jack.
Yes, it's looking like it's going to be over. Alex Stepney has been put under a bit of pressure a few times here, and he's not got a hold of them really cleanly, but unfortunately Bob Matheson has usually ruled his way and given free kicks for him. I didn't really see anyone running the challenge there.
Jimmy Nicholl, it'll go back to Stepney. That's how we stand with about 3 minutes to go. Jimmy Greenoff, shadowed by Joey Jones. Greenoff, Koppel. Greenoff. Kennedy's there. A little over 2 minutes left, and the men in white shirts won't give up yet. But it's got really desperate and tight now for them. And Bob Paisley will know as well as you do there are only 2 minutes left. They'll be looking at their watches all the time as Kennedy now goes through. Oh, and a tremendous shot just glancing off the woodwork.
Did well here, Ray Kennedy. Beautiful strike of the ball with his left foot, and he really hit this one well. Just grazed the top of the bar. That's the way football is. For me, Liverpool have won on points, but Manchester are going to win the cup.
A foul that time on Tommy Smith. Ronnie Moran diving out of that bench there to get the ball into play again. They're in the last seconds. Callaghan curling it in again. Emlyn Hughes right in there. Macari behind it. Manchester United making another break. And their last little crisis might be over. Here's Macari. Pearson right on this side. 1 minute to go. Now, can he hold them out for that last minute? Can he hold them out for that last minute? Here's Greenoff. Koppel taking it to the corner flag, and really there's no need for them to do that. It's a corner, it's a goal kick rather. taken quickly. A whack up the field. On my watch, 20 seconds. It's going to be a free kick. Bob Matthewson indicating that he'll take on time for any add-on time for any time wasting. Phil Neal forward again. Manchester United seconds away from winning this Jubilee Cup final. Case now for Liverpool. Neal into injury time. McDermott hustled there by McCreary. Another look at the watch from referee Bob Matthewson. Callaghan. Case. Can they yet save it, Liverpool? No, because it's Koppel who was right back there to get it away. And again they bring everybody out. Kennedy trying to dribble his way through that wall once more. Akari intent on keeping possession. Again, a matter of seconds left. We've played, what, a minute almost of injury time. Orbiston with a header away. Kennedy couldn't keep it in play. Another look at the watch. And Liverpool's treble is going to be beyond them. Kennedy again, unless they can do something with this cross. Keegan lifting himself, and it's over. Stepney falls to the ground in his goal mouth. Orbiston was in the goal. Hugging of the brothers. And the golden dream of a treble for Liverpool has been shattered. And the team that came here and had humble pie last year have come back this time to celebrate. The man who cried last year, Alex Stepney, has the broadest grin in Wembley on his face. They knew they were the underdogs. Emlyn Hughes trying to offer his congratulations too. Kevin Keegan looking distraught. How much he wanted to win today. Steve Koppel. Well, there's the man who scored the second goal. And the man who didn't play at all, Stuart Houston. Bob Paisley going out there, you saw, to offer his congratulations. In fact, the Liverpool players all sitting down there in the centre circle, absolutely shattered. The defeat has come their way after such a glorious season, when everybody spoke of the impossible, and Alex Stepney and Tom Doherty hugging each other. People spoke of the impossible, except that Liverpool made it probable, and then Manchester United snatched it away from them on a beautiful sunlit Wembley afternoon. Clements, who's got a job to do in Rome, trying to hide the enormous disappointment he must feel. But there's no disappointment there, and Liverpool as a team are sitting in the centre circle. Tommy Doherty going to each one of them. In fact, that Liverpool team, you can see him there shaking hands with every one of them. That's a marvellous gesture there by the Manchester United manager, and Bob Paisley there knows that from this moment onwards he's got to lift those fellas off that Wembley turf into a state of mind that will win them the European Cup on Wednesday night in Rome. But while he has to start doing that, the next job for Manchester United is to go up and receive the cup. Storming captain's part, and what a moment it is for him. That is the supreme moment. There is the president of the Football Association in the background there. Stepney's not going to let that blitz go either. Jimmy Nicholl, look at the delight on his face, and didn't he play well against Steve Highway? Sammy McElroy's there, the man who got that first whiplash goal, Stuart Pearson. Gordon Hill substituted for the second successive cup final. David McCreary, the man who took his place. Steve Koppel, a kiss for that medal. Lou Macari, Jimmy Greenough, Stoke to glory with Manchester United his relations up in the stand, Arthur Orbison, who did everything, and our man of the match for Manchester United, Brian Greenough. So the losers now, and that end of Wembley is just a mass of red and white banners, hardly allowing them to go. When they come to face Mönchengladbach in Rome on Wednesday. A truly magnificent Wembley Cup final with that burst of scoring in the start of the second half with 3 goals in a matter of 5 minutes. And he is absolutely racked with disappointment as much as anything else. And it's not often you see that face without a great big broad grin on it. A word of condolences there from Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Kent. Steve Highway, Terry McDermott. How hard it is to be a loser at Wembley. Kevin Keegan, Tommy Smith. Manchester United, they've done the right thing all afternoon, clapping Liverpool down as a marvellous gesture for what they know to be a tremendous football club. Well, when you see them there, I must say, it does seem that they have an awful job on their hands to lift themselves in the few short days that remain between maybe the biggest goal of all, the one in Rome on Wednesday night. And Liverpool wearily looking at the medals that at this moment won't mean a lot to them. And while Manchester United prepare for the traditional lap of honour, the smiles, the shouts, the glory, Emlyn Hughes, number 6, is a man who scarcely hides his disappointment. He's one of the great competitors, but he's a man who hates to lose. And wearily they're going to make a lap of honour. And I hope the Man United supporters, indeed they are, the Man United supporters are on their feet to them. Let's hope on Wednesday night they do have a cup in their hands. What a season they've had, and what heartbreak it is now. Jimmy Case, the man who scored the goal, who seemed to unlock the way. Meanwhile, what about the other side of the field? Because there you have the other side of this Wembley story. Jack, you wanted to say something?
I just want to say Tommy's waited 8 years for his first success. Been in a lot of competitions. It's a sweet day for him, and I wish him well. He's got a nice little team. Fans are giving them the reception there that they really deserve, even in defeat. And I've never known it take quite so long at Wembley to get a lap of honour on the way. Well, I know he'd love to do one, even with his crutches, but I don't think he'll be allowed to, Stuart Houston. But now the lap of honour's underway. And that end of Wembley is just a mass of red and white banners. They came here as underdogs, and they admitted that themselves, but they came here in control of themselves.
And while they may not have had the best of the first half, their confidence really went sky high early in that second half. Just seen a banner there that says ITV's best banner. Oh, there's an assortment of headgear there as well. Well, it's a scene basically that never changes year by year, and yet it's always got that marvellous special touch of